Om. Om Prithivi Shanti Antarikshagam Shanti Dau Shanti Disha Shanti Ravantara Disha Shanti Ragni Shantir Vayu Shanti Raditya Shanti Chandrama Shanti Nakshatrani Shantirapa Shantiroshadaya Shantir Vanaspataya Shanti Gau Shanti Raja Shanti Rashva Shanti Purusha Shanti Brahma Shantir Brahmana Shanti Shantireva Shantir Shantirime Astu Shantihi. May there be peace on earth and in the sky. May there be peace in the water and in all directions. May there be peace in the plants, in the trees, and in animals. May there be peace in the hearts of all beings. May there be peace in everyone and everything. Sarvetra sukhina santu, sarve santu niramayaha, sarve bhadrani pashantu, ma kaschit dukkha bhag bhavet, sarvastaratu durgani, sarvo bhadrani pashyatu, sarva sadbuddhimapnotu, Sarva Sarvatra Nandatu. May all be happy and healthy. May all see what is good, and may no one experience misery. May all overcome their obstacles and acquire good tendencies. May people everywhere find joy and fulfillment.
We will sing Meditate on My Mind on page 18. Meditate on my mind, on the Lord my
The fulfillment of Sri Ramakrishna's mission. This book, from which the present article has been chosen, is titled Eternal Mother. In the preface of this book it says, Sri Sharada Devi was considered even in her lifetime a manifestation of the eternal motherhood of God. Born a century and a half ago, she has emerged as a universal ideal for all humanity. End of quote. This article has been written by Pravrajika Bhavani Prana of the order of Sri Sharada Mutt in Dakshineshwar, Calcutta. Sri Ramakrishna was like the Homa bird of his own parable, never touching the ground and ever ready to fly off into the infinite sky. In contrast, Sharada Devi appeared to belong to our world, full of problems and anxieties. Surrounded by her kith and kin, she seemed wholly engrossed in household activities. But that was superficial. To quote Swami Premananda's words, in quote, in Sri Ramakrishna, the glory of knowledge was manifest, and he used to go frequently into samadhi. But what a tremendous personality Sharada Devi is. She keeps all her powers in such control. End of quote. The manifestation of excessive power creates fear in our minds. So, to remove the feeling of remoteness, she appears as our own mother, yet she commands our deepest reverence. That she concealed her true nature like an ash-covered cat, to use Sri Ramakrishna's expression, was not merely due to her humility. Her divinity lay under the garb of motherhood to make her easily accessible. Sri Ramakrishna is the eternal child of the Divine Mother, whereas Sharada Devi is the eternal mother of all beings. In Sharada Devi, there is a beautiful combination of the ancient ideal wife as exemplified by Sita and Savitri, the pure love of Sri Radha, as well as the ideal nun like Yashodhara. She is the ideal mother and the ideal guru, which are the special characteristics of this incarnation. Sri Ramakrishna was a hard taskmaster while training his disciples. If God has attained only by arduous sadhana, very few of us could aspire to realize him. But Sharada Devi's motherhood overshadows her guruhood, making us feel more intimate with her, as she would accept us in spite of our drawbacks. When she assumes our responsibility, even Sri Ramakrishna will not dare interfere with her. He himself has readily admitted this. His stress on self-effort is balanced by the unconditional grace of Mother. Sri Sharada Devi makes the Ramakrishna ideal more practicable. She is the only known consort of an incarnation of God to have played such an important role in the demonstration and spread of his message. The awakening of Shakti is an important feature of Sri Ramakrishna's mission. He accepted a woman as his guru, worshipped a female deity, and even did sadhana dressed as a woman. His love and reverence for all women as manifestations of the Divine Mother, culminating in the worship of his own wife, proves this beyond doubt. Sister Nivedita said that Mother is, in quote, Sri Ramakrishna's final word as to the ideal of Indian womanhood, end of quote. Mother said that he left her behind to demonstrate the motherhood of God. Her love knew no bounds. Virtuous or wicked, intellectual or illiterate, all received her bounty of love. It was Mother who could truly interpret Sri Ramakrishna's life and message correctly. When someone told her that Sri Ramakrishna had come to preach the harmony of religions, she said, renunciation was his dominant character. Practicing different religions was all secondary, as if a byproduct. On the surface, Sri Ramakrishna's life represents the monastic ideal, and Sharada Devi's life illustrates the householder's ideal. In her life, all the distinctions between the sacred and the secular vanish. The kitchen becomes a temple, every object in it an article of worship, and every action in day-to-day life spiritualized. Sharada Devi shared Sri Ramakrishna's love and compassion for others. Sri Ramakrishna felt terrible anguish while waiting for his disciples to arrive. He would go to the terrace of the Kuti building in Dakshineshwar and cry piteously for them. Mother too anxiously waited for her disciples and devotees. If a single day passed without anyone coming to see her, she felt the day had gone in vain. Sharada Devi accepted all kinds of people as her children. Sri Ramakrishna carefully selected his disciples, whereas Mother initiated anyone who sought it. Sri Ramakrishna sowed the seeds of the Ramakrishna order, and Sri Sharada Devi was the mother of the order. Though not directly involved in the administration, she was consulted before an important decision was taken, and her word was an inviolable law. Many of the presidents and leading monks of the Ramakrishna Mutt and mission were her disciples. She also initiated and trained Pravrajika Bharati Prana, the first president of Sri Sharada Mutt. She was the spiritual energy behind a curtain which mothered the seed sown by Sri Ramakrishna into a huge tree. She showered her blessings on the Ramakrishna Mutt and the future Sri Sharada Mutt by doing puja at Belur Mutt on November 12, 1898, and inaugurating Nivedita's school, which is now Sister Nivedita Girls' School, the very next day. The Divine Mother was the center of Sri Ramakrishna's life, and Mother made Sri Ramakrishna the center of her life. He was everything to her. In this sadhana, she became Sri Ramakrishna. Her identification with him was so complete that there were occasions when even her voice and behavior resembled his. She used to say, "Are Thakur, Sri Ramakrishna and I separate?" If Sri Ramakrishna was all renunciation outside and all love inside, Sri Sharada Devi was all love and compassion for humanity outside and renunciation personified inside. In comparison with Sri Ramakrishna, the record of her silent sadhana seems less. But in spiritual power, she was his equal, if not greater. What Sri Ramakrishna came to start, she completed. Sri Sharada Devi was not merely Sri Ramakrishna's Shakti, the custodian of his spiritual power for the welfare of the world. She did more than he did to fulfill his mission. Thank you.
Good morning. I'll read a selection from the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna from February of 1882. It was Sunday afternoon when M came on his third visit to the Master. He had been profoundly impressed by his first two visits to this wonderful man. He had been thinking of the Master constantly and of the utterly simple way he explained the deep truths of spiritual life. Never before had he met such a man. Sri Ramakrishna was sitting on the small couch. The room was filled with devotees who had taken advantage of the holiday to come to see the Master. M had not yet become acquainted with any of them, so he took his seat in a corner. The Master smiled as he talked with the devotees. He addressed his words particularly to a young man of 19 named Narendranath, who was a college student and frequented the Sadharan Brahmo Samaj. His eyes were bright, his words were full of spirit, and he had the look of a lover of God. Pointing to Narendra, the Master said, "You all see this boy. He behaves that way here. A naughty boy seems very gentle when with his father, but he is quite another person when he plays in the Chandni. Narendra and people of his type belong to the class of the ever-free. They are never entangled in the world. When they grow a little older, they feel the awakening of inner consciousness and go directly toward God. They come to the world only to teach others. They never care for anything of the world. They are never attached to lust and greed. The Vedas speak of the Homa bird. It lives high up in the sky, and there it lays its egg. As soon as the egg is laid, it begins to fall, but it is so high up that it continues to fall for many days. As it falls, it hatches, and the chick falls. As the chick falls, its eyes open, it grows wings. As soon as its eyes open, it realizes that it is falling and will be dashed to pieces on touching the earth. Then it at once shoots up towards the mother bird high in the sky." When the meeting broke up, the devotees sauntered in the temple garden. M went in the direction of the Panchavati. It was about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. After a while, he returned to the Master's room. There on the small north veranda, he witnessed an amazing sight. Sri Ramakrishna was standing still, surrounded by a few devotees, and Narendra was singing. M had never heard anyone except the Master sing so sweetly. When he looked at Sri Ramakrishna, he was struck with wonder, for the Master stood motionless, with eyes transfixed. He seemed not even to breathe. A devotee told M that the Master was in samadhi. M had never before seen or heard of such a thing. Silent with wonder, he thought, "Is it possible for a man to be so oblivious of the outer world in the consciousness of God? How deep his faith and devotion must be to bring about such a state." Narendra was singing, "Meditate, O my mind, on the Lord Hari, the stainless one, pure spirit through and through. How peerless is the light that in him shines. How soul-bewitching is his wondrous form. How dear is he to all his devotees. Ever more beauteous in fresh blossoming love that shames the splendor of a million moons. Like lightning gleams the glory of his form, raising erect the hair for very joy." The Master shuddered when this last line was sung. His hair stood on end, and tears of joy streamed down his cheeks. Now and then his lips parted in a smile. Was he seeing the peerless beauty of God that shames the splendor of a million moons? Was this the vision of God, the essence of spirit? How much austerity and discipline, how much faith and devotion must be necessary for such a vision? The song went on. Worship his feet in the lotus of your heart, with mind serene and eyes made radiant with heavenly love. Behold that matchless sight. Again that bewitching smile, the body motionless as before, the eyes half shut as if beholding a strange inner vision. The song drew to a close. Narendra sang the last lines. Caught in the spell of his love's ecstasy, immerse yourself forevermore, O mind, in him who is pure knowledge and pure bliss. The sight of the samadhi and the divine bliss he had witnessed left an indelible impression on M's mind. He returned home deeply moved. Now and then he could hear within himself the echo of those soul-intoxicating lines. Immerse yourself forevermore, O mind, in him who is pure knowledge and pure bliss.
This is a song by Ram Prasad, which Sri Ramakrishna used to love to sing often. O mind, you do not know how to farm. Fallow lies the field of your life. If you had only worked it well, how rich a harvest you might reap. Hedge it about with Kali's name. If you would keep your harvest safe, this is the stoutest hedge of all. For the death himself cannot come near it. Sooner or later will dawn the day when you must forfeit your precious field. Gather, O mind, what fruit you may sow for your seed, the holy name of God, that your Guru has given to you, faithfully watering it with love, and if you should find the task too hard, call upon Ram Prasad for help.
Swami Tyagananda ji is away this weekend to give a lecture and a retreat at the Vedanta Society in Washington, D.C. He'll be back tomorrow. Next Sunday, satsang, we will have a guest speaker, Pravajika Brajaprana from Sarda Convent of the Vedanta Society of Southern California in Santa Barbara. She will speak on living with uncertainty. She will also give a talk this Wednesday evening at 7:30. She will share her reminiscences of some of the senior monks of the Ramakrishna order that have been a great source of inspiration. There will be arti and meditation as usual on Tuesday and Saturday. You are welcome to all of these programs. We will now do the prayer on page 3 of the book, then Sarvamangala, and then in the sitting room, we will all have soup and birthday celebration for all those born in April. Om. May the divine being who is the Father in heaven of the Christians, Holy One of the Jewish faith, Allah of the Muslims, Buddha of the Buddhists, Tao of the Taoists, Ahura Mazda of the Zoroastrians, the Great Spirit of the Native Americans, and Brahman of the Hindus, lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to light, from death to immortality. May we be granted strength, freedom, and clear understanding. May we learn to see God in our own hearts and in everyone around us. May God bless us all and fill our hearts with gratitude, grace, and love. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Peace, peace, peace be unto all.